stores. By the way, I'll never forget this story. I was running a coal mine for Reliance in Maryland, and we had 20 Chinese come in. This was back in 1993. And they all came in, and they were going to look at our coal mine. So it was like herding cats. I'm scared to death that one of them, they've never seen technology before. They've never seen mechanized mining. I'm afraid they're going to jump in front of a piece of equipment. So we were just herding around and showing them everything, and they had an interpreter. So we get them all in the big room when it was all over, and I said, you know, I got a great idea. Why don't I come over there and you pay me $1 million and I'll mechanize your mine? And this old guy turns and says something, and the interpretation was, well, everybody got to have a job. Well, that was back in '93. Since that time, all of our industry, all our mining equipment we developed in this country is in their coal mines. Joy Global, who provides all our mining equipment, have a huge manufacturing facility they built 3 years ago in China. And China business for mining equipment is 2x what it is in the United States right now. But that's our technology. That was developed here. So I got off my soapbox. Sorry. Yes, sir.
Your Midwestern operations are right on the fringe of the line of demarcation where market penetration from Western coal occurs. You're running underground operations with very high unit operating costs, much lower, and you're competing against 100-foot thick seams, which is basically farming. How do you compete in that market area with such a low margin commodity?
The biggest thing to know about Western coal is its rank. Our coal that we produce in the Midwest is 12,000 BTU. Their coal is 8,000 BTU. So once they take 8,000 BTU out of the ground and they transport it, and I used to know the number, but I don't know anymore, how much diesel fuel is consumed just to get the coal from the west to the Midwest is huge. So there's a lot of plants that in phase one, they had to go to the lower sulfur Powder River Basin coals. But all that flocked when we scrubber all our plants and we put scrubbers on. So that made it more efficient. They needed a higher BTU. So it's back to transportation cost and BTU. And there's a brake line. And that brake line is right about St. Louis. So we pushed, they came into Illinois, they came into West Virginia, and we've been able to push them back to Illinois, the other side of St. Louis.
But with all the new scrubbers that have come online in the last 3 years, I mean, is there still a substantial price differential between compliance coal and high sulfur coal?
No, not really. It's come together. The value of Eastern Kentucky coal has changed because of the scrubber technology. So some of our Illinois basin coal is penetrating and taking the coal market away from, or competing more favorably, I should say, than coal in East Kentucky. But there's a different thing happening. And the most important thing that's changed in the last 2 years is China was a net importer of 80 million tons of coal a year. Now our exporter. And then the last 3 years have flopped, and they're 80 million importer. So that's sucked coal all across the world. Now our East Kentucky coal, we're starting to move into European markets for steam. So we're taking our East Kentucky coal, put it on a barge, take it all the way to New Orleans, put it on a boat, take it all the way to Europe, and they're burning our East Kentucky coal because South Africa and Australia went to China. Okay. Now, then you have the rains that happened in Australia, and they're offline, so the price has gone up. And we were selling coal for metallurgical coal for $80 last year. It's a ton that's $150 a ton. Back to what's happened in the world. What's changed in our business is 10 years ago you didn't think about what happened in the world. Now everything in the world affects what's happening with our business.
What's that coal do you mind?
About $1.2 million, that's all we have, it's up in
All
northwest.
exporters,
Yeah, it goes export. Yes, sir.
How much cost do clean coal technology such as carbon capture add to energy prices for solar?
It's going to add quite a bit. I think the biggest thing it adds, I can't give you a number, but the biggest thing when I look at carbon capture and sequestration that bothers me is the amount of energy it takes to put it in the ground. I don't think it's there yet. I think we're going to put a lot of money into storing it, and we're not really sure as a people how much that's really helping or not in that trade-off. I think you're better getting more efficient with what you do first, then let that technology develop and keep, I mean, you got to keep pushing that technology, but I don't think it's here yet because the energy figures I see to store carbon is a heck of a lot of energy. It'll take 25% of one power plant's output to right now store carbon or CO2 underground. That's big, and I don't know if we can afford that yet. I'd rather do a supercritical unit. Instead of burning 5 million tons of coal in that plant, you'll do what you would have with 5 million with 2.5 million. That makes more sense to me. That is efficient, and that is real technology that's here today. So.
And the real thing that's stopping us from that is again, it's about all investing in assets and not
Yeah,
having.
you talk to every major power company and everyone we deal with, they don't know what to do because they don't know what's coming at them. They had cap and trade came out a year ago, and that would have changed the way they invested their capital in the energy they produce. So now with all the troubles we've been having with our economy, there's really no decision, it's just pushing decisions. We have to really get a hold of what our energy policy is in this country and go after it. And we need it all. We need to start building nukes. We need to be building nukes in California. We need to be building nukes where there's no coal. We need to be putting solar plants like that 3,000 megawatt they announced in the Mojave Desert. We need to be doing that. We need to be building supercritical units and taking our older plants offline. That's going to be the most efficient thing, the best thing for the economy, the best thing for this country. And push conservation. We got to conserve. I went to Las Vegas one time. I don't like Las Vegas, but I go to this hotel, and they're burdened, and I'm sitting in this hotel in this lobby, and it's air conditioned, it's 110 degrees out. And I look, and there's these huge doors that are open, and you walk out of that lobby, and the door's as big as this room, and it's 110 degrees. And I'm thinking, the energy that's leaving that hotel, all that air conditioning, is a waste. I mean, I know what our people do to produce energy. I don't want it wasted. You know, you don't. I mean, it takes a lot to get it out of the ground. It takes a lot to produce energy. It's unbelievable. We can't do that. We've got to conserve. Yes, sir.
So the Energy Club is made up of a lot of like chemies, mechanicals, and we got some business people and other people around, but what kind of, say, future job opportunities would Alliance offer locally or even nationally to like graduates?
We'll take all.
Yeah.
All. We have mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, mining engineers. We have business majors. We have economists. We have them all. It takes everything to run our business. If anybody wants to get in the energy field, I always worry that people say, oh, coal, I can't get in, it's going to die in 5 years. Well, if you look at the numbers, it can't. We can't sustain it as a country if it dies. We've got to develop everything. So one of the guys that developed all of our tracking for our miners underground, which you'll see at Riverview, and we have computer systems that are just like this, networks underground. We can run computers underground. We can call anywhere in the world from underground. All that technology was developed by a guy that works with me, Mark Watson. He's an electrical engineer from UK. Real sharp. So we have a whole separate